Well, not to be left out, I myself have been invited into a Signal private chat. It was just some woman named Usha selling pictures of a really old used couch, though, so I don't know.
The dirty couches everywhere. The ex-girlfriend of J.D. Vance, no doubt. Now shut your festering gob and get on with the news.
Good point. Good point. So, the Trump administration has received a very strong endorsement for their potential territorial expansion, the first of which since 1947, and it comes from Vladimir Putin. Speaking at an Arctic policy forum in the northern Russian city of something or other, Putin presented a more comprehensive case than any U.S. official yet for Trump's plan to annex Greenland, crafting a historical argument that sounded suspiciously convenient in terms of Russia's own territorial designs on Ukraine. He says the U.S.'s plan to take control of Greenland may surprise some people only at first glance, and it's a deep mistake to believe that this is some kind of extravagant talk by the new administration. Nothing of the sort. He says the U.S. had plans to buy Greenland in the 60s. Congress wouldn't support the deal. Well, then the whole U.S. didn't really have those plans, did they? This guy doesn't really get it, does he? He's very, he says America protected Greenland from the Nazis, made an offer to buy the island again, even going back to 1910. He says the U.S. plans are serious with long-standing historical roots. And then Putin concluded, basically, get over it. Big countries have territorial ambitions. Deals for land and annexations are not just historical relics. They're a modern-day reality. And rejecting generations of international norms not to take territory by force or through extortion, well, that's none of our business, and what doesn't concern them to what they're doing over here. He says, as for Greenland, this is an issue that concerns two specific states and has nothing to do with us, while adding that Russia would continue to defend its interest in the Arctic from dangerous powers such as Finland and Sweden.
Ooh.
So, yeah, so the bedroom bromance between Trump and Putler here continues, and it's just getting deeper and deeper. Anybody who's not seeing this now is completely head in the sand like an ostrich, because this is real.
It's nuts. That's what it is.
It's unbelievable. I can't believe this is the world we live in, dude. Unbelievable.
Well, we're living in it at the moment, not for long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Very much, yeah. So, if Putin starts that crap with, you're going to hear a lot about it, because we ain't going to take that shit around here.
Yeah, kick him in the nuts.
Exactly. So where are you starting today here?
Well, it's not fair that Donald Trump gets to do all the scammy stuff. It should be, shared around, because his spiritual advisor, believe it or not, he fucking has one, Paula White Cain, is offering 7 divine blessings just in time for Passover, but for a price. The controversial televangelist is asking followers to donate $1,000 in exchange for supernatural rewards, including divine protection, prosperity, and long life. Oh, God.
Does she have this in writing from the top man himself, or is this just...
What, Musk?
Oh, we know it's not Trump, so,
Yeah, but she's a leading proponent of the prosperity gospel, bases her offer on Exodus 23, though critics point out that the same passage warns against spreading falsehoods and oppressing the vulnerable. Irony is completely lost on this stupid bitch. Yes, the $1,000 donation. Sorry, yeah, what?
She's a proponent of insanity. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the $1,000 donation doesn't just buy divine favor. It comes with a 10-inch, wait for it, Waterford cross.
Pull out my big 10-inch.
Yes, a devotional set and a olive wood communion set featuring bread and grape juice from the Holy Land. What?
What?
What? Yeah. White Kane's fundraising tactics have drawn widespread backlash from critics accusing her of exploiting faith for profit. No kidding. Country legend Dolly Parton's sister, Stella Parton.
I thought you were going to say her breasts, but okay,
yeah. She's blasted White Kane as a grifter, urging her to repent and stop this charade.
Can't repent if you don't believe. Obviously, she's a fake. Come on.
I love that. Dolly Parton, sister. It's great to get the people involved in it.
Totally. You know, people like that give religion a really bad name, but we probably shouldn't dwell on her for too long.
No, thank you. I wouldn't want to dwell on her at all.
Was that slick? Did we do that? Okay. So hundreds of protests are planned at Tesla showrooms across the U.S. and internationally coming up tomorrow, but today, depending on when you're seeing this. Organizers have dubbed it Tesla's Takedown Global Day of Action, the latest and largest in a series of demonstrations that began shortly after Ronald Gump was inaugurated. Organizers say the rallies will take place in front of more than 200 Tesla locations worldwide, including nearly 50 in California alone. The hippies and the beatniks are not liking this. So the protesters' goal is to send a message to the Trump administration that they're against what the Tesla CEO, Elon Schmuck, is doing with the U.S. federal government, laying off thousands of workers, cutting department budgets, giving fascist salutes, and getting rid of entire agencies. Oh, man, we can't have that. Nobody voted for this, and nobody voted for Elon, says Vicky Mueller Olvera or something, who's been organizing takedown protests in the Bay Area. He's an unelected super billionaire, and he's a thug. The Tesla takedown itself, the movement, it's kind of loose, right? But they describe itself as a decentralized grassroots movement that will protest Tesla for as long as Elon Schmuck continues to shred public services. The group says that Musk is destroying our democracy using the fortune he built at Tesla. And so in turn, they are taking action at Tesla. Demonstrators were asking people to do three things. Don't buy a Tesla. Sell off your stock if you own it in Tesla, and join the protest movement. Don't smash cars that are owned by individuals. Well, what you do to dealerships, that ain't none of my business. But it's not. But let's not. Some people bought those cars when they were actually cool, right? So
Who, the people or the cars?
It's a toss-up at this point. It's like left testicle or right. Can you tell the difference? So join the protest. Get your voice out there. Make sure everybody knows that you think Elon is a schmuck.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where our nearest Tesla dealership is. I'll have to go and have a look, see what's going on.
Yeah. Throw some eggs.
Drive-by. Yeah.
Well, throw eggs at it, because then they know you're willing to put your money where your mouth is.
Well, I thought you meant throw eggs at the protesters.
Yeah, no, at the building when you're protesting, right? Yeah. Right.
Just go and shit on one of the cars.
That's a different kind of egg.
It might increase its value. But more about politics, because a strange story here of Joe Malloy, who never planned to enter politics, but after losing his job and eventually his home during the pandemic, the 36-year-old found himself living in a tent encampment in Seattle. Now he's mounting an unlikely bid to unseat incumbent Mayor Bruce Harrell, running his campaign from a cot in the city's sanctioned homeless site, Tent City 3.
Wait a minute. I thought the song was Hot in the City, not Caught in the City. I had no idea.
He's Malloy, who has a background in public administration and real estate, and he's homeless. Believes his first-hand experience with the homelessness makes him the best candidate to tackle Seattle's growing housing crisis. The city is one of the largest homeless populations in the U.S., with numbers rising 23% since 2022. He argues that current policies, including increased sweeps of encampments, aren't solving the crisis, Well, I'm making it worse. Yeah. Just go through and just get rid of them all, and they'll be back. What are they
That's what they do up here. They just did it in a town about an hour north of me. They go in spring, tear the encampment apart. They trash tents and everything. And then you're allowed to go get your stuff back. They'll issue you a brand new tent for no reason at all because you already had one. And then everybody goes back to the same place. And then it happens again in fall. Yeah, they do this to them twice a year. I don't get it.
At least they get a nice new tent out of it. But Mayor Harrell's office disputes Malloy's claims. He said, what did he say? He says the most valuable quality in leadership is open-mindedness and willing to work together. But Malloy just says no, pointing to thousands of new affordable housing units and a reduction in overdose deaths in 2024. However, critics argue that the city still prioritizes temporary fixes over long-term solutions. Seems to be the state of play in America in general.
Can I just ask a thing? Now, I'm not exactly the world's top dog of geography, but Seattle is a north city. It's very close to Canada. As such, it gets winter. Why is there a homeless issue in Seattle? Wouldn't everybody bugger down south?
Migrate. Right?
Yeah. Like in my area, we have a very warm area for where I live in Canada, and our winters are really mild compared to what everybody gets around us. So we have a homeless population because everybody figures the area out and comes and stays here, right? Why would everybody stay in Seattle?
I think when it gets cold, they also like go and hang out in, somewhere like
Monaco, the Riviera.
Monaco, yeah. That's what I was thinking of, and I couldn't think of the name of the place all of a sudden. Right.
It's funny. Or you could say it like they used to in like the 50s in your area, Monaco.
Monaco.
Yeah. So this guy is absolutely insane and has no regard for his own health, even though it seems to be fine. His name is Donald Grosk, and he has chewed through an average of 600 Big Macs a year since 1972. At one point, he was eating 9 of them a day, but he's now reduced it to just 2. Yeah. He has just hit the Guinness Book of World Records for the most Big Macs consumed in a lifetime, which sits at about 35,000 right now. Now, you got to ask yourself, what does that do to a man's health? Well, surprisingly, nothing at all. He's totally fine. His blood sugar is normal. His cholesterol is normal. He's got no health issues whatsoever. His wife said medics have given him a clean bill of health. And for his part, he says that, many people thought he'd be dead by now.
Well, at least sick of Big Macs.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Can you imagine? They didn't taste good the first time, let alone the 35,000, right? Yeah. But he says he's seriously hyperactive. Like he literally goes for a walk around the block each day. But what he doesn't tell his neighbors and other people is it's usually a 6-mile walk. Right? So he's a seriously hyperactive person. He's always on the go, on the move, 6-mile walking a day and whatnot. I just have one question. How do you get enough food energy from something that's barely food at all to be so hyperactive? Does this guy also got a meth addiction? How is this possible? If I eat McDonald's,
KFC.
Oh, yeah, because the grease gets you going. But if I eat fast food 2 meals in a day, I'm on the couch for the rest of the day because I got no energy left in me. And he's older than I am. It's odd. It's
funny because there was that guy who did the movie, Super Size Me. Where he just ate McDonald's the whole time, and he was nearly killed himself. The doctor said, if he carried on, he'd have died. So
yeah, there's been a couple others that have done that as well over the years. It's really stupid. I can't believe this. They never should have glorified. Wait a minute. We should never have glorified. Shit. We should just move on. Dunk, why is there a messy street on my screen? What's going on here?
Oh yes, this is how we deal with sensitive documents in the UK. None of this getting onto a Signal chat and releasing your documents. No, we just chuck them out all over the floor. Because sensitive military documents were containing soldiers' personal details, shift schedules, and weapon storage information have been found strewn along Newcastle Street. The papers marked official were discovered spilling from a black bin bag in the Scotswood area on March 16th by a football fan on his way to watch Newcastle United's. Why do we know? But we don't care about
Who cares? Yeah, exactly.
Among the documents were details on soldiers' ranks, emails, ID numbers, and patrol schedules, as well as paper titled Armory Keys and Hold IDS Codes, which appears to relate to accessing weapon storage area and an intruder detection system. Some papers contained high-ranking officers' mobile numbers and perimeter security details.
And the name and the locations of their mistresses. I mean, it's just...
Apparently, Pete Hegseth was mentioned in one of them as well.
Yeah, I didn't know he was so flamboyant as a mistress. It's just,
the Ministry of Defence has launched an urgent internal investigation, and I don't mean a bodily investigation, with Downing Street stating appropriate action will be taken. Oh, right up the butt.
Oh, so it's the full fist then. It's the full fist.
Information security expert Gary Hibbard warned that the documents pose a significant risk to those named, and they could be identified online and targeted for coercion or harassment. What, by a Newcastle United football fan?
or maybe there's just an issue with Gary's in the UK. Come on, Gary.
We know there's an issue with Gary's. There's always been a problem with Gary's. So the documents now in MOD custody are believed to be connected to regiments at Catterick Garrison. The investigation will seek to determine how classified military records ended up in a scattered public area.
Oh, shit. No shit. And what actually got burned in the barrel then? I mean, there should be two questions here, right?
Just porn mags.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry here, everybody. I just got totally confused there because I found the burger guy picture again, and I got all worked up
that one again.
Yeah, but it only gets worse because I got this idiot. Yeah. So President Ronald Gump announced that 25% tariffs on all imported cars to the United States of America are escalating the global trade war just after he touched off the market rut that fucking triggered concerns about possible recessions and yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. Oh, my Lord, is this man a flippin' idiot? He says, I think our automobile industry will flourish like it hasn't before. Gump, you don't get it, pal. When all of the parts that are being made outside of the U.S. and whatnot are made in the U.S., those are higher paying jobs. The vehicles will be even more expensive. And you've now guaranteed that unless somebody has a really, really good income, driving might not even be in their future, let alone with a used car. And used cars these days are so damn awful that this is basically going to severely impact the mobility of the average worker. You're an idiot. The tariffs will be applied to imported passenger vehicles, including cars, SUVs, minivans, cargo vans, and light trucks. And they will also be applied to key imported auto parts, including engines, powertrain parts, and electrical components. In the history of Ford, they have the Windsor and the Detroit, or but one of their engines is the Windsor, the 351. Oh, Cleveland and Windsor, that's it. Windsor is not in America, you moron. So, it's Ontario, right? It's Canada. So the White House noted that the 50% of 6 million purchased were imports, blah, blah, yada, yada. Did Trump, I don't know who pulls the strings right now. If Satan, Lucifer, his brother, or maybe the corpse of Saddam Hussein is the puppet master at this moment in time. But Trump has the ear of the big execs at the supposed big three, GM, Ford, and Chrysler. Well, it's Stellantis now, right? He must know that this is not a good idea on so many levels. It's not funny. If you bring all of those jobs back to America, the car is going to be more expensive. At the same time, the factories that are left supposedly empty in Canada and Mexico will be flooded by other car makers who need those factories to supply cars to Canadians and Mexicans and stuff and whatnot. I don't believe that this will be as bad for Canada as Mexico as Trump thinks it will be. And I hope that our politicians collectively on both sides of that persnickety fucking border we have now realize that this bully can be bullied himself. We'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, it's the only way to deal with him. Just kick him back.
Exactly. Kick his fucking nutsack straight up his colon and out of his mouth.
Or maybe we can send this guy around to deal with him because, the notorious inmate, Charles Bronson, he's just this fucking madman. He was in prison. You just got to find out about him. If you've never seen the film Bronson, watch it. But anyway, he surprised pub goers by singing a karaoke live from his maximum security prison cell. Bronson, 72, dialed into the Huldathorpe pub in Bridlington, East Yorkshire, where he belted out Frank Sinatra's "My Way" over the phone. The infamous prisoner, once dubbed Britain's most violent man, dedicated the performance to his late friend Roddy Cray, who died 30 years ago. Yes, good old Roddy Cray, the lovable, cuddly Roddy Cray.
Did this guy beat the shit out of him in a bar or something? I mean, he was my buddy, but he looked at me funny. I mean, what's the deal here?
Yeah, the sing-along was arranged by Judy Shaw, Bronson's ghostwriter and host of the pub's regular karaoke night. She called the event historic, claiming no other prisoner has ever performed live like this before. And
Charles Bronson sang at my wedding. No way, no.
he's my bridesmaid.
Yeah.
And he'll kill you if you say otherwise.
Wait a minute, it was Charlie Manson. Oh, whatever. It was it.
Yeah, originally jailed for armed robbery in 1974, Brosnan has spent most of his life in prison due to his infamous prison outbursts, including 11 hostage situations, multiple attacks on officers, and he's received a life sentence in 1999 for kidnapping a prison art teacher.
Dude, you got some really country club prisons going on over there, man.
He's a nutter. He's an absolute nutter.
Oh yeah,
sweet as sweet can be. Yeah, he used to grease himself up so he'd strip all his clothes off, grease himself up with Vaseline so the guards couldn't grab him. and get a fight. Mad as a hair.
Oh my God! It'd be like trying to catch a greased pig with a Fu Manchu type mustache. Look at that shit going on.
Oh dear, I'm not going to go on about it, but yeah. But apparently there's a video of it, and I don't know where it is, but haven't seen that.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. Oh my God! Wait a minute. Somebody stupid website just reset itself. Okay, there we go. So, there is a cool thing going down right now. The University of Maryland has announced its 2025 commencement speaker, and it is none other than Kermit the Frog. Don't I have the Kermit gag locked in there? I think I changed it because for God's sakes, PJ even said great time for the gag, so I screwed that up. Yeah,
you just do it. You'll have to do it.
Yeah, but way. But now, if you think this sounds stupid, it is actually not, right? Because the university president said the decision honors the 65th graduation anniversary of the late creator Jim Henson, who earned a BS in home economics. Really? From the College Park. Yeah. Bachelor of Shittery, right? College Park in 1960. So the dude goes on to say, I'm thrilled that our graduates and their families will experience the optimism and insight of the world-renowned Kermit the Frog. Well, it's just a performer now, dude. Let's, dial it down a notch, right?
Hey, come on, he's real.
Yeah. But, let's see here. He started out, he was born in Mississippi. This is Henson. He got his first job at 17. Yeah, exactly. Right. Because, he was probably just eating flies as a kid. And Henson found him and he's like, hey, dude, you want to go hang out, have a couple of beer? Right. But he started out, Henson, as a 17-year-old puppeteer for a children's show starting in 1954. Yeah. And then he performed as Kermit until from 55 until his death in 1990. So I get the idea here and all that, but are they really going to have somebody hiding with their hand up a puppet's butt giving the commencement speech? Like, really?
Oh, that is how it works.
I know. Yeah. So
there are other ways you could do it, but you could get arrested doing that.
The current performer of Kermit's probably hiding under there going, I didn't even graduate, so I'll just do this. But it's a good story, why not? I like Kermit.
Happy story.
Yeah. So what's this? Chemtrails?
Chemtrails, that's right. Yes, this long debunked conspiracy theory about the US government spraying toxic chemicals from airplanes.
Oh, I was kidding. Shit.
Yeah. But it's gaining momentum in several state legislatures.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but potentially leading to laws based on misinformation. Florida, Alabama, and Tennessee lawmakers have introduced or passed bills aimed at banning geoengineering and weather modification, despite overwhelming scientific evidence disproving that so-called chemtrails even exist.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the chemtrails conspiracy falsely claims that the white condensation trails, contrails, left by airplanes are actually chemical agents to control the weather and manipulate citizens. Scientists have debunked this, explaining that the contrails form naturally from water vapor and trace gases in specific atmospheric conditioning. Yeah. I love it. I love this. I mean, can you imagine it? If they actually make a law banning chemtrails, then all the chemtrailers will be going, look, see, they are doing it because they made a law stopping it.
Are Republicans really this stupid?
That's not a very smart question.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But they're blaming the Trump administration's influence as emboldened conspiracy theories. And now R.F. Kennedy Jr., the head of the Department of Health and Human Services, is promoting the chemtrails myth. Yes, he's at it. Kennedy claimed that the states were right to ban geoengineering and urged followers to support the movement. His comments lend credibility to a baseless theory scientists warn could undermine real effort to fight climate change. Yeah.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah. You know what's terrible? It's not even your article that's that bad. It's that I have to follow it up with more BS about this ass.
The worms got free.
Exactly. So the health secretary, that sounds like how you gonna die. An anti-vaccine advocate, Robert, holy fuck am I stupid, Kennedy Jr., has slashed 20,000 jobs across the Department of Health and Human Services, 24% of the workforce, in a sweeping overhaul to improve efficiency and save money. So he's combining the workforce losses from early retirement, that fork in the road crap, And 10,000 positions cut in the reductions and restructuring is announced today. HHS will shrink from 82,000 full-time employees, which in my view isn't enough as it is, to 62,000. He says, quote, "This will be a painful period." You know, this guy is giving America's health system a freaking enema, and he starts with, "This will be a painful period."
Yeah, no lube.
Yeah, no, exactly. Dry.
Don't even spit on it.
Yeah. And then he called it a sprawling bureaucracy. And it's funny because anybody that has to deal with the agency says they're so understaffed and funded, it's not funny. Right. And he says, "I want to promise you now that we are going to do more with less." You know what that says? That says to everybody working at the NHS or whatever the hell it's called, is that from now on, you're going to be treated like migrant workers without visas that serve coffee at donut shops to police. That's what that sells. And you're going to have to run your little ass off for your little government pension now. He said, the downsizing includes significant cuts to the Food and Drug Administration, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, and the National Institutes of Health. So I'm sorry, because you probably thought it wasn't going to get any worse, and I just made it so. It's true.
This is his plan to make America healthy.
Yeah, he wants everybody to be as unhealthy as him because now we're all graded on the same curve, right? And all of a sudden, you know, he's a buff guy at the beach, right?
Insane.
Unbelievable.
Well, it could be worse. They could be dealing with these little bastards. Because, bizarre and eerie discovery has been made in Wanstead, East London. No, it's not. Where a landscaper stumbled upon zombie spiders infected with a mind-controlling fungus. That's right.
So the thing where the ants get the spiders and they go up or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a fungus that just grows on the spider and just takes over their brain. But Gareth Jenkins, 46, great photograph of him coming up here, where he's actually managed to put in his website into the image. Before
I was going to block that out with a dildo. I just wasn't sure. You know?
I think that's brilliant. Yeah, you got any pictures? Yeah, hang on a minute. Let me just quickly edit it. But Gareth was working in a garden when he lifted some decking and was shocked to find around 15 spiders covered in strange white foam. And he says, "I've been a landscaper for 20 years and never in my life have I seen something like this." But there's a mind control fungus because, after sharing images online, experts confirmed the spiders were infected by entomopathogenic fungus, a rare parasitic organism. I wonder if this parasite could actually say that word.
I'm not going to confirm that we use that to get our moderators around here, but they're really effective, aren't they?
Yeah, it's what this does. It infects the insects, hijacks their brains, and then controls their movements before ultimately killing the host. How does it do that? I don't understand. The fungus manipulates the spiders to spread itself to other insects, ensuring its survival. Once its mission is complete, the host dies.
Yeah, there's one in the rainforest that does this to ants or something, and they get this uncontrollable urge to crawl up the tree, and then the thing sprouts more fungus out of them and lets the spores go, and that's why it's up high, so it can spread better. It's unbelievable, man. It's led some scientific people to have real discussions about the possibility of this transferring like bird flu and blah, blah, and whatnot to humans. And before you know it, we really do have Officer Grimes or whatever and The Walking Dead going on, right?
Yeah, I mean, they have said that although the fungus poses no threat to humans, it has been known to jump between species, including insects, plants, and even truffles.
Yeah,
the elusive truffle.
But back in the day, we were told that DDT posed no risk to humans until we were like, oh, maybe so.
Yeah, and I remember that girl told me I couldn't catch crabs off her. But yeah.
Turns out I caught them at 30 feet.
But anyway, scientists can continue to study its potential effects on ecosystems. But for now, London's zombie spiders remain an eerie but fascinating reminder of the strange and terrifying world of fungi.
So before we get out of here, British punk band the UK Subs were just coming into the United States for a gig last weekend, and boom, not all of them made it across the border. Why? They were grabbed by immigration, and Gibbs, the drummer, Stefan, somebody, and the guitarist Mark were grabbed and kicked back to the UK. But vocalist Charlie Harper was allowed through. Now,
let him through.
So they noted that they were questioned after landing. They were told they didn't have the correct visa. The officer said that there was an undisclosed issue that contributed to the questioning. The only thing they could figure out was the band is very, very, very vocal in their disdain for Donald Trump.
Huh.
They were taken to a holding pen. Their luggage, passports, and phones and everything were taken. They weren't allowed to talk to anybody until like 9-10 hours after they were grabbed. They were kept for over 24 hours without sleep in a well-lit room that was designed to break you mentally, the whole 9 yards. And in the end, one of the dudes says it was actually an educational experience, and honestly, kind of proud of myself for being thrown out of America at the age of 67. He says, now knowing my relationship with the USA is over for the foreseeable future, I'm okay with it.
Wow. It's a good job they didn't get sent to El Salvador.
It's probably like minutes away.
You got tattoos. Get in this plane. You're off.
Exactly. Yeah, totally. So bad, right? They did nothing wrong at all.
No.
Yeah.
Mind you, I've never heard them.
UK Subs, I heard them years back. They've been around a long time. They're not a fresh band.
Okay.
Yeah, they're pretty good. But I have no idea what our time is now because we had 2 screw-ups during the show. I don't want to start... Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah. You guys out there probably had way more screw ups than we did, but at least we made it through. Did you? But
yeah,
we're going to wrap it up, get to the after show. So thanks for joining us and putting up with our BS, everybody.
Yeah, slick as a bag of gravel. We'll see you in a bit.
Like, share, and subscribe on the way out because I can find out where you live.
Yeah.
I'm
trying to think of something funny to say.
Yeah.